to first thank the clergy for their prayers, all of you citizens for coming to get this clarification and to let us hear feedback from all of you. But on March the 2nd, we were given a resolution that asked us for our vote that would help the Confederate groups. There was 3 contingencies in the resolution: to help pay to move it. We were told that there were interest from City Council and the Sons and Daughters of the Confederacy to move the statue or the monument. We voted to help pay if that was true. Since then, on March the 4th and on March the 8th, notification was sent to us by the Sons and Daughters of the Confederacy that they had no desire to preemptively move the monument. So the resolution now is dormant. So none of us that voted for that resolution flip-flop. I clarified in a meeting that night on March the 2nd, I've never been for supporting moving this monument. I don't think you should move it. I'm going to read in the record the same thing I read on March the 2nd. History is not there for you to like or dislike. It is there for you to learn from it. And if it offends you, even better, because then we're less likely to repeat it. It's not yours to erase. It belongs to all of us. I also want to reiterate what I heard here tonight, Proverbs 22:28. Do not remove ancient landmarks which your fathers have set. We all have to learn to live together, but for the last 2 weeks, we have clarified this resolution. So for the record, for tonight, in front of our board and you guys, the resolution only was to move the monument if the owners, who we thought were the Sons or the Daughters of the Confederacy, wanted to move it. They don't. It was not a unilateral motion to move the statue no matter what. It was not. I even went back after the manager's report on March the 2nd, if you go watch it, and clarified that comment. So I've got friends on the Daughters and Sons of the Confederacy. We thought they wanted to move it. I voted to support the resolution because I wanted to support them if that's what they wanted. Because if they decided they wanted to move it, that's what our vote was, is to help them pay for that to happen. So we did not vote to unilaterally move this monument, period. And so I wanted to clarify that for the record. There's been no flip-flopping. That's what the resolution says. There's 3 contingencies in it. The city didn't need to take it up because the 2 parties that we think, one of the parties owns the statue. We don't think the guy that accepted it in 1905 or 6 had standing for the county. There's no evidence to that. I'll make a motion tomorrow to accept it, if that's what the Sons and Daughters want us to do. But based on a statute from 2015, we're restricted if we own it, if it is ever to be moved. Can't put it in just anywhere if the county owns it. If the Sons or Daughters of the Confederacy own the statue and it ever is forced to be moved, or their desire is to move it, they have no limitations to where it could be moved. That's the difference in us owning it or them owning it. I'm okay either way. But thank you for allowing me to clarify that. I understand your frustrations. I apologize for your frustrations and this situation that has been created. But hopefully tonight's clarification resolves all of those misinformations. But for I think Miss Beverly Maurice that was here on behalf of the clergy, I just wanted her to know that to my knowledge, there's never been any public money spent on this monument. It has always been maintained, cleaned by the Sons and Daughters of the Confederacy. That's my knowledge. She said that we're spending taxpayer dollars to keep up, maintain, or put the monument there. We've never done that, just for clarification. So my vote again on that day was to help them move it because we were told they were interested in relocating. So they're not, so it stays. Thank you for allowing me to make those comments.
I just want to say one thing that a very smart man said one time, Winston Churchill. He says, a nation that forgets its past has no future. And we all need to remember that.
Amen.
Any other comments? Let me just say a few things here. Just a few. You know, we're a nation of laws and we believe in the rule of law. And the restrictions of state statutes as far as moving monuments is very timely. And having been through 8 months worth of public comments, pro and con, it was obvious that this is just not an issue that was going to just fade away. I always had the assumption that the county owned this monument just because it was in front of the courthouse and now the government center. But when you look at the record, there's no record of the county having taken action to accept it as a gift. And that opens up a very narrow window, a very narrow path, if the parties, as Commissioner Houck has said, that own it want to make sure they have some control over what may happen to it if they're willing to relocate it. And the pertinent part of the statute basically says, if the county owns it, we can't move it anywhere, period, with some very limited exceptions. But it does have a third-party ownership exception. That is, it says that this whole statute is not applicable if an object of remembrance owned by a private party, such as the Daughters of the Confederacy, that is located on public property and is the subject of a legal agreement between the private party and the state or a political subdivision of the state, such as a county, governing the removal or relocation of the object. So if the Daughters of the Confederacy owns the monument, which we believe that they do based on an analysis of our record, then if they were desirous for whatever reason of relocating to a cemetery or to the Zebulon Vance house or any other location, if they wanted to do that, then our resolution was to meet with them and facilitate that process if they were so inclined. As mentioned, they indicated they were not so inclined. That means that there's no mutual agreement to relocate it. That means that the statute exception does not apply and that we are governed by a state statute that the monument remain exactly where it is. So the opportunity was simply to say, look, we've been hearing from folks for 8 months. Is there an opportunity to sit down and discuss other options? And the Daughters of the Confederacy would be really in the driver's seat as far as what those options are. They chose not to avail themselves of that, and that's fine. That just means that the statute as it is written applies, and we are not legally able to move that even if we wanted to. So that's where we are, and at this point, people are entitled to exercise their First Amendment freedoms, and I do want to commend everyone that has spoken this evening because everyone articulated their positions in a heartfelt but respectful way, and that's how we exercise our First Amendment rights in a democracy.
Mr. Chairman, can I interrupt you briefly? They're entitled to their opinion, but they're not entitled to their own facts. And all I wanted you to do is please again, because Doris Allison is a colleague at the City of Statesville and others, when you did the resolution, you did it. So I just want you to tell these people again, like you have already, that that was not a unilateral motion to move the statute under no conditions, because there were 3 contingencies there. They're thinking we flip-flopped off of out of pressure. We did not. Your resolution did not ever say that.
Well, the opinions that, and I will tell you this, I presented this was a motion that was in preparation to almost the very day, and so it wasn't on the agenda. It was presented to other commissioners. They didn't have a lot of time to reflect on it, I think, but I wanted to get it out there so that there wouldn't be a week, 2 weeks worth of rumors about what it was going to say if it was on an agenda, because people would be heard, because you're here tonight, and have the opportunity to be heard for many months to come. But I wanted to be proactive and see if we could, as a community, resolve the issue through discussion and engagement. And I still encourage people to engage with respectfully understanding different perspectives. So, anything further?
I just wanted to say also, we all, I think, would support, what was your name again?
Christine Harvey.
Christine, we talked for months about considering another monument of some sort for all fallen veterans, and you've been in negotiations for those, and I think that's a good compromise for the future. But, you know, sometimes, some of the intentions of some of the, people are just to stir up issues, and I just want to say I support some type of monument for all fallen soldiers of all wars or something, as this lady mentioned. We've talked about that in the past. But I just wanted to clarify to people, you know, we respect and ask for your opinions, but we're not going to allow people to create their own facts. And so thank you for sitting here and letting us clarify what happened, how it happened, and that was not a unilateral vote to move that monument. It was to assist the sons and daughters if they chose to do that. And so thank you all for coming. I appreciate it myself, and I apologize for the anger, the confusion this has created. We serve you guys, and we're going to continue serving the majority of the people. We're unfortunately not going to be able to please everybody all the time, but we can't erase history, and the statue will stay until we're made to move it, or the owners want to move it. Thank you.
Thank you. County Manager's